They made them 20 years ago, David.
What?
They're 20-year light bulbs, but they made them 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. No, I have that in my house too. I purposely put the ones that I couldn't reach way up in the sky. Of course, that's the one that went up first. Okay.
We recently acquired one of those suction cups that goes onto a broom handle.
Right.
In our old place, we had 14-foot ceilings. In our new place, actually for two of our lights, we have like 22-foot ceilings. Of course.
We couldn't get it one to work.
Hmm?
Bring electricity in. It turned out that the wire at the switch was broken. And I had to spend all this time trying to climb the ladder.
And all you had to do was fix the switch inside.
It's a switch, yes. All right.
We will begin on page 145 with the words of Nishmat Kol Chai.
Okay. Nishmat Kol Chai, Tivret Shebcha Adonai Eloheinu, Baruch Kol Basar V'Nagdim. But I must tell them to I know not talk about it. You can share Marseille, Shemesh Yerech, Viagdi, Frush, Kinesh, Regular, because they are in all the road of Hino. We're trying to tell her, Hino, I'll tell you, no, Hino, I'll keep never know what Panam Rock, Nishmash, Bachman, Shana, Shatan, Hino, Kimi, Ruby, Kimi, the color shall not cut your fair color, Mid Melach, Mishvalach, Merachlach, Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibov, Nora, El Yom, Kadeshamayim, Aretz, Dalelecha, Nishabecha, Berecha, Reshem Kachecha, come more let it be Berchin Nafshin, Bekok Revive, Etchem Kacho. El Batatsimo Tuzecha, Hagadol, Bekvot Shemecha, Haibor Lanet, Safanor, Benotecha, Hamelech, Hayoshe, Vakisi Rambin, Isa, Shochenad, Marom, Bekado, Shemoho, Bekatu, Bifi Yisharim, Titala, Lutheray Tzadikim, Tiparach, Bashom, Chatin, Tiromaham, Uvekerev, Kedoshim, Tikadash, Umakalod, Rivot, Amcha, Beit Yisrael. Shekin Chobako Turim Lefon Necha Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Aboteinu Lodo Lalel Shabech Lefael Rovim Ladel Barech Lalel Kales Al Kol Divrei Shirov Tishbechot David Ben Yishai Abecha Beshichecha.
We rise on page 148.
Yishtabach Shemcha La'ad Malkeinu El Abech Baruch Hilachad Naleh. Baracho Bahodo Me'atav Yad Olam Baruch Atah Adonai El Melech Gadol Batishbacho El Hoda'od Adonai Niflo Habocher B'Shirei Zimra Melech Ochei Olamim.
We turn to page 150. We're seated at the top of the page.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Etzero Borei Choshech Oseh Shalom Borei Et HaKol.
Page 152.
Amir La'aretz V'Rehim Aleha Brachim into what is Tiparach Adonai Shavach B'Aseh Yadecha Me'or She'asita Baruch Hasela Tiparach Surena B'Kenim Go Aleinu Kulam ahuvim, kulam berurihim, kulam giborihim, b'chulam osim b'ema u'b'yera tzahon konam, b'chulam pokim b'hem mishabah tarab b'shirav zimrav, v'archim mishabachim u'farim maritzim alishim u'maham lichim, et shem ha'el ha'melech elovan rakadoshu, b'chulam akabel alehem el malchusham b'hem mezeh b'notnim b'shuteh l'azeh l'aktiv yosam b'nachar ruach b'safar u'nameach kushachim chad k'onim b'yomim b'yirah. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzibaot, Moretz Kivodo, V'ofanim B'chayot HaKodesh, Barash Gadol B'nasim Limatzir, Rafim Limatam B'shabchim B'yomrim, Baruch B'adonai Mihim Kama. Yavon V'teinu L'chayz V'rayim Kivu B'adol Or Chadash Al Tion Ta'ir V'nizkech L'Merali Oro, Baruch Atah Adonai Yotzer HaMorot. Ahava Rabba Kanu Adonai Elohim Chem Lakad Elohim Adolenu Avinu Malkeinu, for Avote, Shebarchu V'cha, Shebarchu Avinu Malkeinu, Badalam Kuchai. V'arinenu b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachel lebeinu li'ava lira et shemecha, v'lo nebosh li'olam va'ed, v'lo nebosh li'olam va'ed, ki v'shem kachecha, hagadol v'nara b'hatachnu, nagila v'nismecha, Nismecha b'shuatecha, v'havienu l'shalom me'arba kanfot haaretz, v'tolichenu komemiyut le'artzenu, ki elpo Yeshua ta'atab, uvanu v'charta mikolam v'lashon, v'kerav tanu l'shemcha hagadol selam, v'yehamet lehodot l'chab, Uliacherecha b'yahava, Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'mo Yisrael b'yahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha u'v'letecha v'aderechu v'shachpecha u'v'kumecha v'kushartam liot al yadecha v'hayu letatafot b'neinecha Uketavtam amzo beitecha u'v'sha'arecha. V'yab shemot ha'y shenochim etzadet chayom labar and ha'chem avdol chol v'chem ol shechem b'tar makosh. V'yisaf et ne'nek v'yirach v'nazal v'ot ha'shem l'chem tenev v'tzatem Elohim acherim mishte l'chem brach v'nachem b'shamayim v'limachar b'dam l'tiduva. V'temes sh'tava asher v'notem v'lechem ol shechem v'shechem v'yachem. You look at the open and come out with the Hammond there, Bum, Bishop of the Mechab. You get up with the Bishop Rachaba, came out of the Vash, and found out that the Commission of Ballard. Layman Shalom, or Dab Air, open Israel for him, this will oh, hey, continue with him to run it. I thought the kettle of it. He was going to try to call the run this with a cabin. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeti Etchem Eretz Mitzrayim Le'olachem Le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Emet, V'yatziv Nachom Meikem Mishanim Ha'chuch V'chavit Nechmad B'na'im V'na'oram Adir V'tukam, Emet Elohechem, sorry, go V'chem Lidor V'ador Kayam Shemo Kayam V'chiso Nachon U'machuto V'emenu Tola Ad Kayam V'et Torev Chayim V'Kayimim V'emanim V'dakadeh L'Olam V'Olam Emechatahu Adonai Eloheinu Bo'Heabotenu Matenu Malkenu Melchabotenu Matenu Golen Gwelabotenu Yotzenu Tzuru Yeshuatenu Padenu Matzvem Elam Shemecha Elohim Zulatecham Ezra Nabotenu Tahu Me'olam Tilo Le'Elohim Baruch Mevorach Bo Shem Yom B'nei Shulchan Shira B'Simcha Rabba V'Yamru Chulam Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi Chamocha Nehedar B'Kodesh Norati Lo Tosef Elef Shira Chadasha Shevchu Gulim Mishchotzot Hayam Yachad Kulam Hodu V'Yimlichu V'Yamru Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed Tzur Yisrael Kuma B'Yezrat Yisrael Uvtechenu Mecha Yehuda B'Yisrael Go Aleinu Adonai Tzibaot Shemo Kidosh Yisrael Baruch Atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
Festival Amidah begins on page 306. Remember, we are now saying Mashiva Ruach. Silent time.
Silent. coming? All right.
You can go ahead and continue with Hallel, I suppose.
Hallel? Okay.
We're on page 316. 316.
316.
We rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'tzavot tzivanu l'kol hallel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'tzavot tzivanu l'kol hallel.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, Abdei Adonai, hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Yishem Adonai mevarach, me'ata v'ad olam, mimizrach shemesh ad mevu'o, mehulal Shem Adonai, Ramal koyim Adonai, al shamayim kevodo, Mikadonai Eloheinu, hamakbil hashabat, hamashpili lihirod, Bashamayim uvaretz, mikimi me'afado, me'ashpot yarim evyon, lehoshivi imnivei amo, Moshivi akeret habayit, em abanim semecha, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. B'Beit Yisrael mi Mitzrayim, Beit Yaakov me Amudesh. Hayda Yehuda likacho, yes Yisrael mam shlochotav. Hayam rav hayanos, hayarden yisav leachor. Harim rachtu ki elehem keva'o kivnei tzom. B'Beit Yisrael mi Mitzrayim, Beit Yaakov me amlo ez. Malacha hayom, Titanus, Hayarden, Tisav leachar, Harim, Tirkiduch elim, Yevaot, Kivnei tzon, Milifnei Adon, Chuli aretz, Milifnei Eloha Yaakov, Achov v'Hatzor, Agamoyim, Chalamish, Leman Yomayim, Yisrael betach b'Adonai, Ezra maginamhu, Beit Aron b'chub Adonai, Ezra maginamhu, Yarei Adonai b'chub Adonai, Ezra maginamhu. Adonai zerachim barech, Yevarech et Beit Yisrael, Yevarech et Beit Aron, Yevarech Yarei Adonai. Haketanim im hagolim, Yosef Adonai alechem, alechem ve'al benechem, beruchim atem Adonai, Yosef shamayim ba'aretz, hashamayim shamayim ladonai, ve'haaretz natan lebnei adam, lo hametim yahallelujah. Velo kol yodedu ma v'anachnu nevarech ya me'ata ve'ad olam me'ata ve'ad olam Hallelujah. Ahavt
We're on page 318.
Talech lifnei Adonai behartzot achayim amati ki adaber ani hiti me'od ani amarti bechafsi kol adam kozeh ma'ashiv Adonai kalu Allah kozeh Lecha ezbach zevach todah ubishem Adonai ekra nidalai Adonai Ashalem negdana bechol amo bechatzro beit Adonai betochechi Yerushalayim bechatzro beit Adonai betochechi Yerushalayim Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, Adonai, kol yim shavchuchu, kol ha'omim, ki gavar aleinu chasto, be'emet Adonai li'olam, hallelujah. Odu l'Adonai ki tov ki li'olam chasto. Yomarna Yisrael ki li'olam chasto. Yomruna Beit Aharon ki li'olam chasto. Yomruna Yerei Adonai ki li'olam chasto. Min ha'metzar karatia ananani v'amerchavim. Min ha'metzar karatia ananani v'amerchavim. Kol rina v'yishua b'yalei tzadikim. Kol rina v'yishua b'yalei tzadikim. Yemin Adonai osachayim. Yemin Adonai osachayim. Pirchuli Shaharei Tzedek Abov Odeya Zashal Adonai Tzadikim Yavovo Odecha Ki Anitani Vati Lishua Odecha Ki Anitani Vati Lishua Even Masu Habonim Hayeta L'Rosh Bina Even Masu Habonim Hayeta L'Rosh Bina Meyet Adonai Hayeta Zot Hiniflot B'Yeneinu Meyet Adonai Hayeta Zot Hiniflot B'Yeneinu Zeh Hayom Asa Adonai Nagihila B'Nisbechava Zeh Hayom Asa Adonai Nagihila B'Nisbechava Ana Adonai Hoshiana.
Ana Adonai Hoshiana.
Ana Adonai Hoshiana.
Ana Adonai Hoshiana.
Ana Adonai Haslichana.
Ana Adonai Haslichana.
Ana Adonai Haslichana.
Ana Adonai Haslichana.
Berchaba b'shem Adonai. Berchaba b'shem Adonai. El Eliata be'odeka, Elohai arobi beheka. Eliata be'odeka, Elohai arobi beheka. Odu Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasto. Odu Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasto. Yaluf another commas. The house is a keep of service and a couple of habits. Kilcha tov hodol shemcha na'el zamer, ki melam le'adol el, baruch ata Adonai, melech b'olam, batishbachot. Yikadal v'ikadal shemei rabba.
Amen.
Yalma dibrach v'devek b'chutei b'chayechon v'mechon v'chayed kol beit Yisrael b'galav zman kuri v'yimaru.
Amen.
Yehi shemei rabba v'barach v'yalam yomei almaya
Yiparach.
Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitruma minaseh v'dadar v'dalev v'dalash medekudesha.
Beichu.
Leila mikol berkadav v'shira tati v'katav v'nakabatad davidom yom v'yimaru.
Amen.
Tegabel sahon v'arahono Yisrael kadam avonu Shmaya v'imaru.
Amen.
Yeshlam Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim alei v'kol Yisrael v'imaru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom Rabba yaseh shalom. Alei v'kol Yisrael v'imaru.
Amen. We turn to page 402. We can pick up Baruch Hu. We'll turn back. So David, if you want to take us back to
Sure.
150? 149. 149, and then we'll continue on 402.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 402. And we can use a different configuration today if you want to. We'll trade off. We could just get a couple more people who can help me with a tahoreta. Since we've got 3 mic stands, we're able to use. Yeah, one person. I was gonna. Well, do you want to just go through a rotation? I mean, that works. Yeah. I'll start.
Okay.
Tahoreta lada'at ki atahu ha'elohim ki Adonai hu ha'elohim ein od milvado.
Atarit oladah kin Elohim ein od milvado. Lo sein v'lo gadol levado ki elam chasto.
Leo seine gadol levado ki elam chasto. En kamocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'en kama'asecha.
En kamocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'en kama'asecha. Yehicha b'Adonai le'olam yismach Adonai b'ma'asav.
Ki yehi chod Adonai le'olam yismach Adonai b'ma'asav. Yehi shem Adonai b'barach me'ata ve'ad olam.
Yehi shem Adonai b'barach me'ata ve'ad olam. Yehi Adonai Elohei imanu kasher hayayim avatenu ayazenu v'ayitzenu.
Yehi Adonai Eloheinu imanu, kasher hayayim avotenu, al yazvenu ve'al yitashenu. V'imru hoshienu, Elohei yishenu, v'kavtzenu v'hatzilenu min hagoyim, lehodot l'shem kodshecha, lehishtabeach v'teilatecha.
V'imru hoshienu Elohei yishenu, v'kavtzenu min hagoyim, lehodot l'shem kodshecha, lehishtabeach v'teilatecha. Adonai Melech, Adonai Molech, Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed.
Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed. Adonai Oz Le'am V'yitein, Adonai Yivarech Adamo V'Shalom.
Adonai Oz Le'am V'yitein, Yivarech Adamo V'Shalom. V'na Amoreinu L'Ratzon, L'fnei Adon Kol.
L'fnei Adon Kol. And we rise, we remain standing as we open the ark on page 403. Vayehi ben Aharon, vayomer Moshe, kuma Adonai, v'yafutzu oyevecha, v'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha.
Vayehi ben Aharon, vayomer Moshe, kuma Adonai, v'yafutzu oyevecha, v'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha. Kuma Adonai muchatecha, ata v'Aaron uzecha.
Kuma Adonai limnuchatecha, ata v'Aaron uzecha. Kohanecha yilbishu tzedek, v'chasidecha yiranenu.
Kohanecha yilbishu tzedek, v'chasidecha yiranenu. Ba'avur David abdecha, ato shem pnei Mashichecha.
בעבור דוד עבדך, תשב פני משיחך, ואמר ביום ההוא, הנה אלוהינו זה, קיווינו לו ויושיענו. זה אדוני קיווינו לו, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתו.
ואמר ביום ההוא, הנה אלוהים זה, קיווינו ושיענו, זה אדוני קיווינו לו, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתו. מלכותך בכל עולמים, ומשלתך בכל דור ודור.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, ומשלתך בכל דור ודור. כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים.
כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. אב הרחמים, היטיבה ברצונך ציון, תבנה חמות ירושלים.
אב הרחמים, היטיבה ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חמות ירושלים. כי לך לבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם ונישא, אדון עולמים.
כי לך לבד בטחנו, מלך רם ונישא, אדון עולמים.
First hakafa. We have a volunteer? Okay, Matt. I don't know which one you took last time. Are you looking for heavy or light?
Doesn't matter.
That one's
Yeah,
I
that was
think
the one
one's
that was the
heaviest,
heavy one.
if I
All
remember.
right, that way somebody else doesn't have it.
There you go.
There you go. Actually, it's not that bad.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe something got moved.
I'll read or you read.
You read.
Okay. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Ana Adonai Hatzlichana. Ana Adonai Anenu Anenu B'yom Koreinu. Anenu Anenu B'yom Koreinu. Elohei Haruchot Hoshiana. Bochei Nevavot Hatzlichana. Goel Chazak Anenu Anenu B'yom Koreinu. Anenu Anenu B'yom Koreinu. The suggested song is Torah Tzivalanu. Torah, 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 Tzivalanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzivalanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzivalanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzivalanu Moshe. Morasha Kehilat Yaakov, Morasha Kehilat Yaakov, Morasha Kehilat Yaakov, Torah Tzivalanu Moshe. Second hakafa. Sure. Yeah, that would be best.
We're not using that one.
You want to do that one? Okay. Works for me. That is the mafsir spot. Yeah, we can put that one in the stand when you're done, Bob. Dover tzedakot Hoshiana Hadur Bilvusho Hatzlichana Vatich Vechasid Anenu Anenu V'yom Koreinu Anenu Anenu V'yom Koreinu. We have an Am Yisrael Chai suggested here. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Oh, Avinu Chai, Oh, Avinu Chai, Oh, Avinu, Oh, Avinu, Oh, Avinu Chai, Oh, Avinu Chai, Oh, Avinu Chai, Oh, Avinu, Oh, Avinu, Oh, Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. wait, sorry, right here? Yeah, this is good. No. That's our master scroll. Our third hakafa on page 404. Anyone who has not had a hakafa would like to take a hakafa? Okay. Rabbi Shafra.
Rabbi, I think the one all the way to the left is your face here.
That is the lightest one. Unless you want to take the heaviest one. Far left, yes.
Oh, I don't think I can.
I can help. There are definitely some.
I'm too short.
Oh, there we go. And it would be advisable as well to do a little hand sanitizer. Because that way, maybe your hand like something somebody else. We're trying to encourage everyone who comes up to the bima to use hand sanitizer before they leave.
Okay.
Do you want me to read or do you want to read?
Go ahead.
Okay. Zach v'yashar Hoshiana Chomel Dalim Atzlichana Tovu Metiv Anenu Yom Koreinu Anenu B'Yom Koreinu. We have V'samach. Okay. V'samachta b'chagecha v'hayita ach sameach. 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 Yishar kochech. Our fourth hakafa is on page 404. Do you want to put it back? Do you need help getting it? Okay, I got you. Anybody want our fourth hakafa? Volunteers? Sarah? Okay. We're on page 404. Do you want to read as well, or do you want?
I can read it, but I have to.
Got it.
Is this one pretty light? Second one?
That one, I think that one is pretty light. Yes. We'll find out in just a moment. Well, let's see. Do you want me to get the Rimanim off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The tall one, well, it's not very dense.
No, there's that dense one that's like.
Yeah, this one is very small and very heavy. Got it?
Yeah.
Fourth.
Four. Yodea machshavot Hoshiana Kabir Mena or Hatzlichana Lo Vesh Tzedakot Anenu B'Yom Koreinu
A suggested song. Esaina. Esaina el heharim me'ayin me'ayin yavo ezim. Esaina el heharim me'ayin me'ayin yavo ezim. Ezri me'im Hashem oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Hashem oseh shamayim va'aretz. Esaina el our fifth hakafa on page 405 at the top. Lynn, great, thank you.
But you can read.
I'll read, okay, that's fine. And let's see, we have done, the one on the far right we did already? We have not done. And that one is fairly light, I think.
Do you need help?
We'll find out in a second.
Got it?
Parshat HaShavua? That's Parshat HaShavua, so yeah, that's the song.
Yeah, I think it's okay, I got it. Oh, this one's-
They're all Besot HaTorah.
Do you want me to put it back in?
It's just this one.
Yes, it can, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There.
There's hand sanitizer for anyone leaving the bima if they want. No, it's okay. When you leave, you can wait there.
We don't use slight corrections on Simchat Torah.
I'm sorry?
No zapping on Simchat Torah allowed. No zapping.
No zapping.
Right. Let's pull back.
All right, we're at the top of 405. Nope, top of 405. There we go. Melech Olamim, Hoshiana, Na'or ve'adir, Hatzlichana, Somech Noflim, Anenu, Anenu, V'yom Koreinu, Anenu, Anenu, V'yom Koreinu. 365, Mipi El. That's our suggested song, so sure, let's go ahead. Mipi El, Yevorach Yisrael. Mipi El, Yevorach Yisrael. Ein Adir Kadonai, Ein Baruch K'ven Amram. Ein Gedula Katorah, Ein Dorsheh Yisrael. Mipi El, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. Mipi El, Yevorach Yisrael. Ein Hadur Kadonai, Ein Vatik K'ven Amram. Ein Zechaya Katorah, Ein Chachamecha Yisrael. Mipi El, Yevorach Yisrael. Mipi El, Yevorach Yisrael. Last verse. Ein Kadosh Kadonai, Ve'ein Rachum K'ven Amram. Ein Shmira Katorah, Ve'ein Tomchecha Yisrael. Mipi El, Yevorach Yisrael. Mipi El, Yevorach Yisrael. 405, sixth hakafa. Someone who has not had a hakafa yet? Anybody? I can take one. Sure.
Yeah, it's a heavy one.
At some point we'll have to
Yeah, I know. What?
I should have asked you to put that one down.
No, it's,
We'll have to reuse one.
Okay.
We'll have to reuse
no, not too bad.
Sixth.
Yeah. Oh, there, darling.
Hoshiana, Hatzlichana, Anenu, Yom Koreinu, Anenu, Yom Koreinu, Anenu, Yom Koreinu, Anenu, Yom Koreinu, Eilech Hamda Libi, Kushana ve'anatita leim, Eilech Hamda Libi, Kushana ve'anatita leim, Eilech Hamda Husana ve'ana titalem. Elech hamda libi. Husana ve'ana titalem. Elech hamda libi. Husana ve'ana titalem. Elech hamda libi. Husana ve'ana titalem. Seventh Hakafa. We're on page 405. I think that leaves me probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. And we'll grab.
The one that you're reading.
Yeah, we're going to be reading. We're going to be using this one for Bereshit. Take it back a little bit. Ooh, no, I got it around. Oh, yeah. There we go. Seventh Hakafa, page 405. Kadosh v'nora Hoshiana Rachum v'chanun Hatzlichana Shomer habrit Anenu v'yom kareinu Anenu v'yom kareinu Tomech tmimim Hoshiana Takif la'ad hatzlichana Tamim b'ma'asav Anenu v'yom kareinu Anenu v'yom kareinu Lo Yisagoy is recommended, sure. Lo Yisagoy one more Torah to get out. We'll need 3 holders for our procession, and we continue on page 325. I'll turn back. Could I invite one more person forward to hold a Torah? Thank you, Bob. This is number 3. This is number 2. This is number 1.
This is number 1.
1.
Okay. I got
2.
2.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh v'Nora Shemo. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh v'Nora Shemo. Gadol Adonai Tiromema Shemo Yachdav Lecha Adonai Agedu I need to be over there. We're reading from the Zohar Bracha, so we are on page 1202. 1202.
So,
You gonna go back?
sure, I don't know. Sure. So everyone's getting Aliyah this morning,
Yes.
and so, in no particular order other than the Chatan and the Kala are at the end, and Lynn's, right?
Right.
Is there a Levi or a Kohen?
Unless
Unless someone's a secret Levi or a secret Kohen that we didn't know about.
someone converts us or something.
Anybody need a promotion, anybody done any ancestry
Yeah,
documents?
exactly, right. Turns out.
Suddenly I'm a Kohen.
Grandma was a,
That's all about.
where were we at?
My mother's Levi also, my Levi also.
And so it it's rather, sort of random in order alphabetically, but not right. So everybody go first. And then Robert Shop, I don't know your Hebrew name.
Okay, let me just make sure we're actually on Vizot and not
Okay.
Ha'azina. There we go. There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We just 10 people?
See,
8, 10. We are 10 people. Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't know if we have a card for Rabbi Shapra.
We don't. I'll go stand next. She can. I'll go next to her and stand her. I'll get that close. And she can shout out her name.
I don't technically have a card either. Mine's the.
No, we got you.
I have a
I got you.
Post-it.
Get a sticker.
I'm a post-it on a piece of
You
plastic.
post it right. Can you do the special thing for the?
V'yazo?
No, for the chatan, the end.
I can fake the melody.
Okay. There you go. Sorry. V'yazor v'yoshin chazavot v'nomar amen.
Amen.
Hakol havot Elohim kavod l'Torah Kohen mein Kohen karav Ya'amod Moreno harav Gershom ben Reuven b'mkom Kohen Baruch Shatan le'Moshe v'Shatoho
V'atem hadvikim Adonai Echem chayim
v'Nebekem Kohen hayom
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Amen.
Amen. וזאת הברכה אשר בירך משה איש האלוהים את בני ישראל לפני מותו ויאמר אדוני מסיני בא וזרח משעיר למו והופיע מהר פרן ועתה מרבבות קודש מימינו אשדד למו אף חובב עמים כל קדושיו בידיך והם תוכו לרגליך יישא מדברותיך תורה ציווה לנו משה מורשה קהילת יעקב ויהי בישורון מלך והתאסף ראשי עם יחד שבטי ישראל יחי ראובן ועל ימות ויהי מטב מספר וזאת ליהודה ויאמר שמע אדוני כל יהודה ואל עמו תביאנו ידיו רב לו ועזר מצריו תהיה Amen. Do you want me to do it?
Do you know it? Go ahead.
Ta'amod moratenu harav Shalomit bat Malka Shalomit Tzivya bat Malka Rachel Shaniya Baruch Adonai Haborach Le'olam Va'ed Shema. Amen. Ulevi Amar Tu Mecha Ve'urecha Le'ish Chasidecha Asher Nisito B'masa Tirivehu Amei Meriva Ha'omer le'aviv u'l'imo lo reitiv ve'et echav lo hikir ve'et banav lo yada ki shamru imratecha uvritecha yinzoru yoru mishpatecha le'Yaakov ותורתך לישראל ישימו, כתורה באפיך וכליל על מזבחיך. ברך אדוני חילו, ופועל ידיו תרצה, מחץ מותניים כמך, ומשנאיו מן יקומון. לבנימין אמר ידיד אדוני ישכון לבטח עליו חופף עליו כל היום ובין כתפיו שכן. Shema. Amen.
Ya'amod Mordechai ben Chanoch Shalishi.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Haborach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Uliosef Amar Mevorechet Adonai Artso ממגד שמיים מיטל ומתהום רובצת תחת וממגד תבואות שמש וממגד גרש ירחים ומראש הררי קדם וממגד גבעות עולם וממגד ארץ ומלואה ורצון שוכניסנה תבותה לראש יוסף ולכל קוד נזיר אחיו בכור שורו הדר לו וקרני ראם קרניו בהם עמים ינגח יחדיו אפסי ארץ והם רבבות אפרים והם אלפי מנשה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ya'amod Moreno Harav Noach ben Abraham Revi'i.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. ולזבולון אמר שמח זבולון בצאתך ויששכר באוהליך עמים הר יקראו, שם יזבחו זבחי צדק, כי שפע ימים ינקו, וספוני תמוני חול, ולגד אמר ברוך מרחיב גד, כלבי שכן, וטרף זרוע אף קודקוד, וירא ראשית לו, כי שם חלקת מחוקק ספון, ויתר שעם, צדקת אדוני עשה, ומשפטיו עם ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
I need one extra aliyah. So do we repeat this one now, or we?
Go ahead, that's fine. That works.
Yeah, we just need one more.
Okay.
Ya'amud matijal ben malka hamishim.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam ba'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Udan amar dan gur aryeh yizanek min habashan. Ul Naftali amar Naftali sva ratzon. Umale birkat Adonai yam bedarom yerasha. Ul asher amar baruch mi banim asher. יהי רצוי אחיו וטובל בשמן רגלו, ברזל ונחושת מן עליך, וכימיך דובעך, אין כאל ישורון, רוכב שמיים בעזרך, ובגאוותו שחקים.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam neta betokenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ya'amud Yaakov ben Yamin ben Fibel v'getel Shishi.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam ba'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Uldan amar dan gur aryeh yizanek min habashan. Ul Naftali amar Naftali sva ratzon. Umalei birkat Adonai yam b'darom yerasha. Ul asher amar baruch mibanim asher. Yehi retzuyecha v'tovel bashemen raglo. ברזל ונחושת מן עליך, וכימיך דובעך, אין כאל ישורון, רוחי שמיים בעוזרך, ובגאוותו שחקים.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet b'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ya'amod Yisrael Dov ben Yaakov Yosef Shvi'i.
Baruch Adonai habarach.
Baruch Adonai HaMbarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai barach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu torato. Baruch atah Adonai
Shmo.
noten haTorah.
Amen. Uldan Amar Dan Gurar Ye Yezanek Mina Bashan. Ulnaftali Amar Naftali Sva Ratzon. Umalei Birkat Adonai Yam Darom Yerasha. Ulasher Amar Baruch Mibanim Asher Yehi Ritzuyechav. V'tovel Bashemen Raglo. Barzelun Choshet Min Alecha. וכימיך דובעך, אין כאל ישורון, רוחב שמיים בעזרך, וגבעתו שחקים.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet b'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And we're on page 406. I'm calling our Chatan Torah. מרשות האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אפתח פי בשירה ובזמרה, להודות ולהלל לדר בן הורה, שהחיינו וקיימנו ביראתו הטהרה, והגיענו לשמוח בשמחת התורה, המשמחת לב ועיניים מאירה, המערכת ימים ומוספת גבורה, לאוהביה ולשומריה בציווי ואזהרה. ובכן יהי רצון מלפני הגבורה לתת חיים וחסד ונזר ועטרה. לברך בן אברהם הנבחר להשלים התורה. עמוד 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 ברק בן אברהם חתן התורה, ובשכר זה תזכה מאל נורא לראות בנים ובני בנים עוסקים בתורה. יעמוד ברק בן אברהם חתן התורה. Baruch Adonai HaMelech le'olam va'ed. Amen. מעונה אלוהי קדם ומתחת זרועות עולם, ויגרש מפניך אויב, ויאמר השמד, וישכון ישראל בטח בדד עין יעקב, אל ארץ דגן ותירוש, אף שמיו יערפו טל, אשריך ישראל, מי כמוך עם נושע באדוני, מגן עזרך, ואשר חרב גאוותך, ויקחשו אויביך לך, ואתה על במותימו תדרוך. ויעל משה מערבות מואב אל הר נבו, ראש הפסגה, אשר על פני יריחו, ויראהו אדוני את כל הארץ, את הגלעד עד דן, ואת כל נפתלי, ואת ארץ אפרים ומנשה, ואת כל ארץ יהודה עד הים האחרון, ואת הנגב, ואת הכיכר בקעת יריחו, עיר התמרים עד צוהר. ויאמר אדוני אליו, זאת הארץ אשר נשבעתי לאברהם, ליצחק וליעקב לאמור, לזרעך אתננה, הראיתיך בעיניך, ושמה לא תעבור. וימות שם משה עבד אדוני בארץ מואב על פי אדוני, ויקבור אותו בגיא בארץ מואב מול בית פאור, ולא ידע איש את קבורתו עד היום הזה. ומשה בן 120 שנה במותו, לא חטא אינו ולא נסלחו. ויבכו בני ישראל את משה בערבות מואב 30 יום, ויתמו ימי וכי אבל משה, ויהושע בן נון מלא רוח חכמה, כי שמח משה את ידיו עליו. וישמעו אליו בני ישראל, ויעשו כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה. ולא קם נביא עוד בישראל כמשה, אשר ידעו אדוני פנים אל פנים. לכל האותות והמופתים אשר שלחו אדוני לעשות בארץ מצרים, לפרעה ולכל עבדיו ולכל ארצו. ולכל היד החזקה ולכל המורא הגדול אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל. חזק חזק ונתחזק. Amen. Israel. second Sefer Torah forward.
Anything about our honoree?
Our honoree. We should say lots of words about our honoree. Let me cover the Torah first. So one thing that I can certainly say, when I got here a couple of years ago, I quickly developed the impression that Bob Staten was the person in charge of everything, because he was always here, he was always working on things. I quickly found out that this was because he had officially or unofficially garnered a certain position with respect to the building and the facilities, but that he was also one of the just most generally handy people and helpful people in the community, and that there were lots of little things that he would do, including moving my furniture for me, which was a thing that I didn't know was a benefit in my contract, but apparently it was. And I have been soundly impressed at every turn by Bob's willingness to do things, his skill with doing certain things, and perhaps more than anything, the friendly demeanor that accompanies it all. I have never once heard, no matter what the demand, even if I thought it was a completely unreasonable thing to ask, I've never once heard him say, angrily, I can't do that. Sometimes he does say, I can't do that, but it's always with a smile on his face. And it's incredibly, to me, it's a great lesson in how to be a human, how to interact with other people. And so for your menschlichkeit and general cheerfulness, I am incredibly thankful to have you as a part of this community. And I might ask you to change a light bulb or something in the near future, but we'll talk about that after Chag. Next, we will bring our second Sefer Torah forward. Please rise. We bring it to, but we need to rest. We're not saying Kaddish at this time. If you want to get the ornaments. Sorry? Thank you. Right. We call forward our a Magbia and or Magbiha. Huh? Matt? It's heavy. And Golel, Golelit? Of course.
I thought we're just doing, we don't have great couples.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So I can help you with this one.
Okay.
We. V'zot haTorah asher Moshe b'nei Yisrael Adonai b'yad Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Morasha Kehilat Yaakov, Morasha Kehilat Yaakov, Morasha Kehilat Yaakov, Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. Can you help me with this? Just get this off. Thank you. You may be seated.
That's right.
We're on page 407. And
That page 3. Is that the right chart? It looks kind of middle. Looks like they have to, it's like, that's the wrong one.
as I realized, taking the,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I got, I know how I got it. See, 2 always goes over there. That's the way. 2 should always go over there.
I don't believe it is.
It's close.
It's close enough.
It's close. The Simchas Torah follies.
I like the way you're doing that under the cover.
Well, I'd like it better if it was actually working. There we go. You need to place that back down, I'm sorry.
What?
Or you can place it right here if you want.
Well, no,
We're reading from that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, when you move down a row,
Okay. Please rise. My apologies. If anyone wants, a quick rule of thumb that I learned in rabbinical school is when the Torah is up, everybody is up. When the Torah is down, everyone can sit. There we go. Let's go with that one. Thank you. And this is you, right?
yeah.
Mereshut meromam al kol bracha v'shira nora al kol tehila v'zimra chacham levav ve'amitz koach u'brura u'moshel olam adon kol yitzira u'mereshut chavurat tzedek eda ha'meushara קיבוצים פה היום לשמחת תורה ונעצרים לסיים ולהחל בגיל ומורה ובכן נסכמתי דעת כולם לבררה יען נעשית ראשונה למצווה גמורה מערב טובך ומשכורתך יתרה עמדי שרה בת אברהם כלת בראשית ברא מרשות הקהל הקדוש הזה לברך אל גדול ונורא. אמן. יענו אחרייך הכל מהרה. תעמוד שרה בת אברהם כלת בראשית ברא.
It reminded me last night to use the yad. Is there a yad? Sorry. it is. All right. All right. Thanks. Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim el hashamayim ve'haaretz ve'haaretz hayta tohu v'vohu v'choshav v'neitom ve'ruach Elohim v'chaber hamayim v'yomer Elohim yehi or v'yehi or ve'ra Adonai or ki tov v'yel Elohim ben or ben hachoshek v'yekol Elohim le'or yom l'choshek al layla v'yer boker yom echad Vayom Elohim, Hirakeh B'tov, Hamayim, Vayhi Mavil, Ben Amayim, Lemayim, Vayas Elohim Eri, Rakeh, Vayavdel, Ben Amayim, Mashal, B'takal Rakeh, Uben Amayim, Al Rakeh, Vaychehem, Vaykraha Elohim, Rakeh, Shemayim, Vayer, Vayvoker, Yom Shenihi, Vayom Elohim, Vayom Elohim, Vikavu Hamayim, V'takal Shemayim, V'makom, Echad, V'tever Hayab, V'shab Vaychehem, Vayekra Elohim, V'yabasha Eretz, V'kveh Hamayim, Krayamim, Vayar Elohim Kito, Vayar Kito, Vayom Elohim Techei Haaretz Asher Eseb Mazri Azer Eis Perihi Yosef Perihi Lebel Liveu Asher Zavo Al Haaretz Vaychehin V'Techei Haaretz Asher Eseb Mazri Azer Lebidehu Veis Eseb Perihi Eis Asher Zavo Lebidehu Vayar Elohim Kito Vayar Voker Yom Shlishi Vayom Elohim Yimirah Barakir Shamayim L'Habdil V'Ramayom Uvein Halela Vayol Todl Lomodim Vayim Levim Yivish Adihim Vayul Roberakia Shamayim Layer Alarat Vikahin Vayas Elohim and Shem Rodgidol Lord at a Organol Lovishal Hayom Veramarkatom Mishal Halayla Verakohadihim Videno Tam Elohim Barakia Shamayim Layer Alarat Mishal Bayom Layla Lavil Bena or Bena Hoshak Vayol Him Kito Vayer Voker Yom Rebihi Vayom Elohim Hishuamahim Shosevich Hayat Vavafal Arat Alpanei Rakia Hashamayim Vayvrolhim at Taniyim Golim and Kol Devish Hayab Harum Meset Asher to Hamayim Liminehim Dekaov Ganaf Limin Vayakov Liminehu Vayalhim Kitob Varech Otom Elohim Lemor Perubu Melura Mayim Bayim Evrahim Ares Vayom Voker Yom Yom Hamishihi Vayom Elohim Tosi Ares Devish Hayaliminehu Behema Beremez Kayato Eretz Liminehu Vayechehin Vayas Elohim Chayar Aretz Limineh Limina Berebehim Liminah Tokev Roves Aliminahu Vayalhim Kitohov Vayalhim Nasen Adam Bitsal Menu Kimutenu Vaydu Big Hayam Vasham Behemah V'chol Aretz V'chol Reves Roves Al Aretz Aretz Vayivalohim Adam Bitsal Menu Bitsal Elohim Bara'otav Zachar Nekeva Bara'otav Vaybrech Otam Elohim Vayom Lehem Elohim Beruvu Melu Aretz Gubushah Ruduha Big Hayam Overshamay the Kol Rabbis Allah Aretz Vayom Elohim Hine Tadi Lachem Ekolis of Zoreh Zerah Asher Obadei Kol Aretz the Golay Asher Bo Peri Eis Zerah Zoreh Zerah Lachem Yeh Lachab the Golay Aretz the Kol Bashamay Kol Romeis Al Aretz Asher Lobo Nefesh Hayat Kol Yerakol Seb Lachab Heikehim Vayol in Kol Asher Rasah B'nei Tov Vayarevok Yom Chamishihi Vaychulu Hashamar de Kolto on Vaykalohim Yom B'Shvi Lachto Asher Asah Vayshmovi Yom B'Shvi Mekom Lachto Asher Asah Vaybrachim Yom B'Shvi Kanesha Toki Vayshmovi Mekom Lachto Shabrahim La'aso Amen.
Sis bezot haTorah ihi lanu oz ve'orah.
Bizu v'simchu v'simchato Sisu v'simchu v'simchatorah Utnu kavod la'torah Sisu v'simchu v'simchatorah Utnu kavod la'torah Sisu v'simchu
So maybe a few words about our Kalat Torah, our Kalat Bereshit, excuse me. Oh, thank you. A few words about our Kalat Bereshit. In addition to being sort of an ex officio Rebbitzin, Sarah has managed to definitely be a very stable volunteer and someone that I could heavily depend on. She's been teaching Hebrew classes lately, and it's been a great help because when people ask, do you have can you teach me Hebrew? I get to be able to say, we have an introductory Hebrew class. We have somebody who's volunteered to teach it, so looking for time, or looking for additional volunteers, or looking for a curriculum to try to bring that together has not been something that I've had to worry about, and it's been that piece of it has been fantastic. She's also done a number of things for us, whether in the kitchen and other activities and other places where we've had opportunities to do additional programming, and has been leading us last year as overseeing education. This year, overseeing internal engagement. Even a broader portfolio than she had last year. And all of this in the midst of a global pandemic. So I've been very appreciative to have somebody that I could turn to who I knew had additional, had a lot of knowledge and a lot of energy to devote to a number of very important programmatic and educational tasks in the synagogue. In addition to this, she leads services for us from time to time. She reads Torah for us from time to time, and has just been an all-around great help. And so for this, thank you, Sarah, and Yishar Kochech, Mazal Tov for the honor of being Kalat Bereshit. We will now bring our third Sefer Torah forward. So we will say Chatzi Kaddish at this time. That's our third. It will get me straight. What? We bring the second one. We bring the second one to the table, or the third. Sorry, the third one to the table, and we'll bring this. I'll hold this one.
Yeah. Yikada, Yikada, Shemeraba, Yama Divrach, Rute, Vikmachute, Bechaye, Choru, Yomecho, Ruchaye, Lecho, Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Ubizmachari, Vimru, Amen, Yeshmeraba, Vivarach, Ve'olam Yomel Mahayam, Yiparach, V'yishtabach, V'yipar, V'yitramah, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitallah, Shemer Kudashab, Leila, Min Kol Brechata, V'shihirata, Tuvechata, V'nechemata, Damiram, V'yimaru, Amen. We need someone to, what, that work. We're gonna go away. No work with.
Let's see. I was going to say my right arm's weak, but my left arm feels okay. I don't know. Bob's good. Bob's good? Okay.
Yeah, Amod, Amadia.
Let's say Sheni. Tighten that one up on the right. Tighten it. Get it tight. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we may need to bring them together a little bit. Vezot HaTorah Asher Sam Moshe Lifnei Bnei Yisrael Yadonai Yad Moshe Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omer Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Our Maftir Aliyah is from Pinchas. Presumably it's around page, 930 something? 936. 936.
Okay, yeah, you need that.
29, chapter 29, verse 35. And we welcome our last Olah. Ta'amod le'abat matitiyahu hamaftira.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Start with. Should we start?
Yep, that's fine.
Amen. Bayom Shmini Aserti Elachem Kol Machabda Lo Tasu Kartem Olai Shared Kol Adonai Parechad Aylecha Hakivim Bnei Shana Shiva Timimin Megatam Miskayim Megatam Miskayim La Par La Aylek Vasim B'Misparam Kamishpat Zirech Chatat Echad Mavarol Hatamid Mekatam Niskaha Elatasu Ladonai B'Moedechem L'Babin Rechem Badu Dibodechem Lodchem Mimin Chotechem Miskayim Chalmetechem V'Moshe B'nei Yisrael Kokol Asher Tzibah Adonai Et Moshe.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
We think at this time of those in need of blessings for healing, those in our circles of concern in our community. Among those, Michael Basson, Corey Furman Cohen, Pam Gardner, Howard Galbart, Lori Gupp, Marcy Curley, Michael Katz, Helene Katz, Bernie Q, Eileen Labor, Vanessa Lear, Bobby Levin, Amy Perlman, Ariel Ben Chaya, Nora Shook, Stacy Shook, Alan Turner, Brian Ward, Rocky Weiser, Lori Winkler, Rechobat Shmuel, Balea Yenta, Barry Balinky. Additional names?
Rabbi Shai Held, Donald Trump, and Melania Trump.
Cantor Jacqueline Marks.
Pearl Zucker, Charles Zucker, Yitzi Myra Ben Anna Bethlehem.
Mishaberach Avatenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Mitenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leahu v'Rech v'Yirpeh Kol HaChalim Ha'ela HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yamalei Rachamim Alehem L'Achzikam Ruach B'Lam Yishlach Lehem Mehira U'Fuah Shlema Min HaShamayim U'Fadat Nefesh U'Fuat HaGuf B'Toch Sha'ar HaChalim V'Chazek Et Yidei HaOskim B'Tzorchehem Yom Tov Hu Milizoch U'Fuah Krova Lavo Hashta B'Agolav V'Zman Kariv V'Nomar Amen. We rise for one last Hagbaha. Probably use a spotter if I'm going to do this one. It's a tall scroll. I said I could probably use a spotter if I'm going to do this one. Actually, oof. Nope. No. Yeah.
There you go.
Got some. Yeah. Yeah, my elbow and my shoulder have been bothering me lately.
ושמחת
וחגך והיית אך שמח ושמחת וחגך והיית אך שמח ושמחת וחגך והיית אך שמח. Our Joshua, Sefer Yehoshua, the beginning, symbolically, continuing from the end of the Varim of the book of Deuteronomy to the next part of the story, that of Joshua and Joshua's continuation of Moses' legacy. Our reading is found in Eitz Chaim on page 1267, and we welcome Lynn Kohel to read for us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza b'divrechem hanemarim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai havocher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'b'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek. V'yehi acharei Moshe eved Adonai v'yomer Adonai el Yehoshua ben Nun misharei Moshe lemor Moshe abdi met ve'ata kumavor et hayarden hazeh ata v'chocham hazeh el haaretz asher anochi noten lachem lifnei Yisrael kol makom asher tidroch kaf raglechem bo lachem netativ ka'asher dibarti el Moshe mehamidbar v'halbanon hazeh v'yad hanachar hagadol nechar pero kol eretz hachitim v'yad hayam hagadol mevod hashamesh yeh gevulchem lo yityatzef ish lefanecha kol yemei chayecha כאשר חייתי עם משה אהיה עמך לא אפרך ולא אעזבך חזק ואמץ כי אתה תנחיל את העם הזה אל הארץ אשר נשבעתי לאבותם לתת לכם רק חזק ואמץ מאוד לשמור לעשות ככל התורה אשר ציווך משה עבדי אל תסור ממנו ימין ושמאל למען תשכיל בכל אשר תלך לא ימוש ספר התורה הזה מפיך וחגית בו יומם ולילה למען תשמור לעשות ככל ככתוב בו כי אז תצליח את דרכך ואז תשכיל הלא ציוויתיך חזק ואמץ אל תערוץ ואל תחת כי עמך אדוני אלוהיך בכל אשר תלך ויצב יהושע את שוטרי העם לאמור עברו בקרב המחנה ותבואו את העם לאמור, הקינו לכם צידה, כי בעוד 3 ימים אתם עוברים את הירדן הזה, לבוא לרשת את הארץ, אשר אדוני אלוהיכם נותן לכם לרשתה. ולראובני ולגדי ולחצי שבט המנשה אמר יהושע לאמור, זכור את הדבר אשר ציווה אתכם משה עבד אדוני לאמור, אדוני אלוהיכם הניח לכם ונתן לכם את הארץ הזאת. נשיכם תפתחם ומקניכם ישבו בארץ אשר נתן לכם משה בעבר הירדן, ואתם תעברו המושים לפני אחיכם, כל גיבורי החיל, ועזרתם אותם עד אשר יניח אדוני לאחיכם ככם, וירשו גם חמה את הארץ אשר אדוני אלוהיכם נותן לכם, ושבתם לארץ ירושתכם ורשתם אותה, אשר נתן לכם משה עבד אדוני בעבר הירדן מזרח השמש. ויענו את יהושע לאמור, כל אשר ציוויתנו נעשה, ואת כל אשר תשלחנו נלך, ככל אשר שמענו אל משה כן נשמע אליך, רק יהיה אדוני אלוהיך עמך כאשר היה עם משה. כל איש אשר ימרה את פיך ולא ישמע את דבריך, לכל אשר תצוונו יאמר, רק חזק ואמץ. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, צור כל העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, האל הנאמן, האומר ויעשה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק. נאמן אתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ונאמנים דבריך, ודבר אחד מדבריך, אחור לא ישוב ריקם. כי אל מלך נאמן ברחמן אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הנאמן בכל דבריו. רחם על ציון, כי היא בית חיינו, ולעלובת נפש תושיע במחירה בימינו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מצמח ציון בבניך. שמחנו אדוני אלוהינו, ואליהו הנביא עבדך, ובמלכות בית דוד משכך, במחירה יבוא ויגל ליבנו. על כיסא לא ישב זר, ולא ינחלו עוד אחרים את כבודו. כי בשם קדשך נשבעת לו, שלא יגבה נרו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן דוד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל נביאים ועל יום השמיני הקצרת הזה שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לששון ולשמחה לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יפרש שמך בפי כל חי תמיד, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש ישראל והזמנים.
Amen. Yishak Machech. Thank you. We're on page 177. If anyone wants to take the prayer for the state of Israel in just a moment, I'll let you think about that and raise your hand. A prayer for our country. Our God and God of our ancestors, with mercy accept our prayer on behalf of our country and its government. Pour out your blessing upon this land, upon its inhabitants, upon its leaders, judges, officers, and officials who faithfully devote themselves to the needs of the public. Help them understand the rules of justice you have decreed so that peace and security, happiness and freedom will never depart from our land. Adonai, God whose spirit is in all creatures, we pray that your spirit be awakened within all the inhabitants of our land. Uproot from our hearts hatred and malice, jealousy and strife. Plant love and companionship, peace and friendship among the many peoples and faiths who dwell in our nation. Grant us the knowledge to judge justly, the wisdom to act with compassion, and the understanding and courage to root out poverty from our land. May it be your will that our land be a blessing to all who dwell on earth, and may you cause all peoples to dwell in friendship and freedom. Speedily fulfill the vision of your prophets. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more, for all of them, from the least of them to the greatest, shall know me. And let us say, Amen. The state of Israel.
Sovereign of the universe, accept in loving kindness and with favor our prayers for the state of Israel, her government, and all who dwell within her boundaries and under her authority. Open our eyes and our hearts to the wonder of Israel, and strengthen our faith in your power to work redemption in every human soul. Grant us also the fortitude to keep ever before us those ideals upon which the state of Israel was founded. Grant courage, wisdom, and strength to those entrusted with guiding Israel's destiny to do your will. Be with those on whose shoulders Israel's safety depends, and defend them from all harm. Spread over Israel and over the world your shelter of peace. May the vision of your prophet soon be fulfilled. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Ashrei, page 181. Ashrei Yoshevei Veitecha, Od Hallelujah, Selah. Tila David, Armipala, Melech, Varachashim, Chaleolam, Va'en. Necholecha Sembim, Bateach et Yadecha, Mizmiel Chochay, Ratzon. Tilat Adonai Yadaber Pi V'yorech Chol Basar Shem Kodsho Le'olam Va'en Va'anachnu Nevarech Yah V'yata V'yad Olam Hallelujah. We'll need one more person to come forward to hold a third Torah as we prepare to return the Sifrei Torah to the Ark. We're on page 183. I'm number 3. I'm number 1. And this is 2. This is 3. That's 2. Yeah. Okay. Hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Ki nizkav Shemo levado, Hodu al eretz v'shamayim, Vayarem keren le'amo, Tila lechol chasidav, Livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah. ודוד מזמור. לאדוני הארץ ומלואה, תבל יושבה, ימים יצרה, then 2, then 1. Two's going to go over there. You got it? Okay. ובלך יאמר כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם תורתי אל תעזבו עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה וקום קרח מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו It's my pleasure to invite our Darshanit this morning, Rabbi Shapra, forward. If you want to, down here is good, I think, if you want to turn it around. The top spins other way. It's always, it's like the USB problem. You try it the one way, you try it the other way, and then you try it the first way you did it, and it's right.
Okay, I think everyone can hear me okay. Chag Sameach. Happy holidays. It is Simchat Torah, obviously, which is the happiness or rejoicing in the Torah. And that word seems to be thrown around a lot this time of year, happy. In fact, when the book of Deuteronomy tells us about the holiday of Sukkot, we are told twice that we should rejoice and find happiness. Samachta b'chagecha, be happy during the holiday of Sukkot. So as we've just finished up the holiday of Sukkot, it's only fitting that I ask, are you happy? Amy Klein, a journalist for the Chicago Jewish News, challenges her readers with this question. She says, you can't answer that question, can you? You know what the first 2 words mean, but you're not exactly sure what that third word is, even though you use it all the time. This makes me happy, or she seems happy, or happy birthday, or there, are you unhappy now? So what does that question mean? Are you happy? And what if the answer is no, or not right now? Or even, how is it possibly okay for one to be happy in a world like ours? When the world is on fire, literally, and people are dying every day from a disease we can't seem to control, when the student debt in America is overwhelming, and we've just spent days thinking about all the things we've done wrong in the past year, how can we fathom that happiness is something we should be striving for? Is it okay to truly be happy on the holiday that celebrates happiness? The answer, of course, is yes. It's okay to be happy on a day about happiness. And it's okay to be happy even when other people are suffering. There is not a limited amount of happiness in the world. And when we're happy, others are not deprived of their happiness. So I'm not going to stand up here and tell you and try to convince you that it's okay to be happy, because you already know that. I am, however, going to stand up here and tell you that it's okay not to be happy. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to realize that we aren't where we want to be in life, that we are suffering, and that there is suffering in the world. I want to say that it's okay to accept the fact that we don't feel good sometimes, and it's okay to cry about it. Isn't that what Yom Kippur is all about? Giving us a space to say, I'm not perfect, I've messed up, I've hurt people, and people have hurt me. This type of dichotomy, where we acknowledge suffering on a day named for happiness, is part of life, and it's part of Judaism. Alan Watts is a 20th century philosopher who coined the backwards law. This law states that the more you pursue feeling better all the time, the less satisfied you become, as pursuing something only reinforces the fact that you lack it in the first place. The more desperately you want to be rich, the more poor and unworthy you feel, regardless of how much money you have. The more you desperately want to be sexy and desired, the uglier you become to yourself, regardless of your actual appearance. The more you desperately want to be happy and loved, the lonelier and more afraid you become, regardless of those who surround you. The more you want to be spiritually enlightened, the more self-centered and shallow you become in trying to get there. In other words, sometimes our life situation sucks. And the more we try to make it unsuck, the more we're forced to realize how sucky our situation may be. And it becomes this vicious cycle where we get stuck in the suck, trying to unsuck our situation only to make it worse. So all we can do then is acknowledge the suck. And when we do that, we allow ourselves to step calmly out of that cycle and either move on to less sucky things or even happier things, or begin to see our situation in a different way and to think creatively about how we can fix our situation. And Judaism also allows us to acknowledge the suck as well. I mentioned Yom Kippur, the day that we are set face to face with our faults and our missteps. But Yom Kippur, this day of spiritual reckoning, doesn't exist on its own. Yom Kippur is often paralleled with Purim. In fact, in the Torah, the Day of Atonement is called Yom HaKippurim, which we can play with to mean a day like Purim. On Yom Kippur, we focus exclusively on our spiritual selves, and on Purim, we focus exclusively on our physical selves. On Yom Kippur, when we want to remember everything we've done wrong in order to make things right, on Purim, we drink so much that we can't tell the difference between evil and positive, Mordechai and Haman. On Yom Kippur, we mourn the suffering we may have caused, and on Purim, we celebrate being saved from such suffering. We lean into the difficulty of Yom Kippur, and we have space to lean out of that difficulty on Purim. And the same parallelism is found on this very day, on Simchat Torah, which can be foiled with the 9th of Av. The 9th of Av is at the beginning of the High Holy Day season, and Simchat Torah is at the end of the High Holy Day season. Tisha B'Av is preceded by 3 weeks of rebuke, and Simchat Torah is preceded by 2 weeks of happiness. Tisha B'Av is when we mourn Jewish destruction, and Simchat Torah is when we celebrate Jewish creation through Torah. So Judaism gives us a space to not be okay, a space to suffer, and by leaning into those bad, sad, mad feelings, Judaism gives us a permission to feel glad. Now, it's really important that I say something here, which is that even though it's okay to not be okay, there is something to be said about excessive misery. Disorders like depression, anxiety, and other excessive mental, emotional, and spiritual sufferings do not fall into this normative not okay category. And if this is the case for you, if you're having a lot of trouble feeling happy at all, it's okay to reach out. These are disorders that cannot be leaned into, and professional help might be necessary. Please let someone know. Let me know, Rabbi Pharaoh, a friend, or a therapist. That's what we're here for. And before you even say it, you will not be burdening us. You are not an island, and you don't need to search for comfort and happiness alone. So with that said, when the question is asked, are you happy? It's okay for the answer to be a resounding yes. It's okay to be really and truly happy on Simchat Torah. And if your happiness is not complete or maybe not there today, that's okay too. And with that, I end with a prayer from one of our Hakafot. May the holy, awe-inspiring one save us. May the one who is compassionate and loving grant us success. And may the one who keeps the covenant answer us in our hour of calling. And to that we say, Amen.
Musaf for our festival begins with Chatzi Kaddish. We're at the bottom of page 342. We will rise. I can do it?
Gary, it'd be a treat if you did it.
Sorry? A treat? I didn't say I'd give a treat, but maybe David will. He has treats.
It'd be a treat if you did it.
I think, will you do it for a Scooby snack? Will you do it for 2 Scooby snacks? We're on page 342.
Yikada, Vikada Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Yamad Rakute, Yamlik Malchute, Bechayechonu, Yamechonu, Chayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bagalav Zman Karivim Meru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach. Olam Olam Elmaya.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarak, Vishtabak, Vipar Vitram Vinaseh, Vitadar Vitalev, Vitalash Medikadisha, Brechu, Elami Koberchata Vishirata, Tishbechata Venechamata, Damiram Yamavimru.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'elei Avoteinu, Eloi Avraham, Eloi Yitzchak, Eloi Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibur v'Hanara, El Elyon. Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol v'Zocher Chastei Avot. U'mevi Goel Livnei V'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yahava. Melech Ozer Fakir Mashiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai. Magen Avraham Ufakit Sarah. Atagi Bor Le'olam Adonai Mechayim Etim Atarav Lahoshia. Mashiva Ruach Umarid Hagashem. Mechakel Chaim Bechesed. Mechayim